Did you know that some of the most researched cancer protective compounds don't come from supplements? They come from foods you can grow at home? Over the last decade, scientists have been studying specific plant compounds for their role in cellular health and cancer prevention. Some of the most interesting findings involve cruciferous plants and their youngest form, microgreens. But what does the research actually say? And how do we talk about this responsibly, without exaggeration? Hi, I'm Connor Hebel. I've been growing microgreens for over a decade and have helped thousands of people grow fresh, healthy, and great-tasting food right at home in a way that actually fits real life. Why this matters too often. Health claims online leap from preliminary lab reports straight to headline cures. That's not what you're going to get here. Instead, I want to help you understand what compounds are in microgreens that scientists are studying, what the current research suggests and what it doesn't, how these findings can fit into intentional, future-focused nutrition, and how you can actually include microgreens into your everyday meals in a way that makes sense. What makes microgreens? Unique microgreens are young vegetable greens harvested just after the first leaves develop. Compared to mature plants, studies show they often have higher concentrations of vitamins, antioxidants, and phytochemicals. Microgreens contain vitamins A, C, and E, minerals like iron and potassium, chlorophyll, flavonoids, and polyphenols, compounds that exercise biological activity in the body. How these nutrients affect long-term health depends on the overall diet and lifestyle, and is still an active area of research. Sulforaphane and its research background. One of the most studied compounds in cruciferous plants is sulforaphane, which forms when you chop or chew the plant. This compound has attracted attention because it activates detoxifying enzymes that help neutralize potential carcinogens, improving how cells handle oxidative stress. Some clinical research links sulforaphane to the slowdown of cancer cell growth and modulation of inflammatory pathways in humans. For example, in randomized studies, consumption of broccoli products rich in sulforaphane has reduced markers linked to prostate cancer progression and lowered inflammation in certain settings. And importantly, broccoli microgreens can contain higher amounts of sulforaphane precursors than mature broccoli, making them a potent dietary source of these compounds. Microgreens and early scientific signals. There's early laboratory evidence suggesting that extracts from some microgreens have been shown to slow the growth of certain cancer-like cell lines. These are lab models and do not tell us what will happen when people eat microgreens. Radish and related microgreens have shown unique phytochemical profiles and lab-based anti-proliferative activity in cell models, which is why scientists are interested in them. Reviews of research highlight anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties in microgreens that might relate to reduced cancer risk in broader dietary patterns, though studies are still emerging. What this doesn't mean: no one should take microgreens or sulforaphane-rich foods and assume they are a cure or guaranteed prevention for cancer. If you're dealing with cancer or at high risk, microgreens are at most a supportive food choice, not a replacement for screening, diagnosis, or treatment. Right now, most clinical human studies have been done with broccoli sprouts or extracts, not exclusively microgreens. The evidence is promising, but still early. We can say that within balanced nutrition and preventive lifestyle choices, compounds like sulforaphane are described as chemopreventive, meaning they may support the body's own defense systems in experimental models. That term does not mean eating any one food will prevent cancer in real life. How to include microgreens mindfully. Here's a calm, practical way to think about it. Add a small handful of broccoli microgreens to salads, top soups or sandwiches with them. Blend them into smoothies or gently warm over grains. Because these greens are harvested early, they often retain higher nutrient and phytochemical concentrations per gram than their mature counterparts. This doesn't have to be a big performance, just a smart addition to food you already eat. Secret tip: Here's a piece of research-friendly insight you won't often hear. Eating microgreens with a source of myrosinase, such as mustard seeds, radish greens, can help your body activate sulforaphane more efficiently. Myrosinase is the enzyme that converts glucoraphanin into sulforaphane. Microgreens aren't a cure-all, but they are an example of how thoughtful, nutrient-dense foods can fit into mindful health choices. If you want help making this simple habit part of your routine, visit ameliaislandmicrogreens.com/101. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Kale has been called the ultimate superfood, but what if I told you there's something even healthier? This tiny, fast-growing microgreen packs more nutrients and is way easier to eat and grow. Stick around because today I'm revealing the microgreen that could be healthier than kale. And at the very end of this video, I'll share the best way to eat this microgreen to get maximum nutrition. You don't want to miss out. Hey, I'm Connor Hebel, the founder of Amelia Island Microgreens. I've been growing microgreens for 13 years and I've been featured in Forbes and Entrepreneur. I've helped thousands of people just like you grow your own nutrient-packed microgreens right at home. If you're ready to upgrade your nutrition, then let's dive in. But before we dive in, let's just go ahead and get a little health disclaimer. This is for educational purposes only, and before you make any changes, be sure to consult with your doctor. So now let's dive in. All right, so before I reveal what's healthier than kale, go ahead and put a comment below. What kind of microgreen do you think is healthier than kale? All right, so I was thinking I was gonna be a little bit funny and just say kale microgreens are healthier than kale, which is true, by the way, because microgreens are 40% more nutrient dense than your mature vegetables. So microgreen kale is healthier than kale. But since that's a little straightforward, and in second place, we have broccoli microgreens. They are higher in sulforaphane, a powerful compound that supports detoxification and has been shown to aid in cancer prevention and reduce inflammation. Broccoli microgreens have more vitamins and minerals. They're packed with vitamin C, vitamin K, and folate in higher amounts than mature kale. And better absorption. Nutrients in microgreens are easier for your body to absorb compared to full-grown kale. And super cool, they're easier to eat. There's no need to massage or cook the microgreens. Just add them to your smoothies, salads, or sandwiches. And the cool thing about a smoothie, you're not even gonna taste it. It's kind of like, remember how people would hide in some spinach into the smoothie because you don't really taste it? Well, in microgreens, you don't need to add as much into your smoothie for it to make an impact, and you don't even taste it at all. There's so many ways to eat microgreens, which we'll cover later on in this video. All right, have you ever tried eating broccoli microgreens? Comment yes or no down below. And if you love learning about powerful superfoods, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. And remember, I'll be sharing the best way to eat broccoli microgreens at the end so you get all those benefits. And while I'm talking about amazing benefits, I've been growing microgreens for 13 years, and recently I created a microgreen masterclass to inspire all of you to grow your own microgreens in just 7 days. If you're ready to go from microgreen beginner to microgreen grower, click the link below or go to ameliaislandmicrogreens.com/101 for a free microgreen masterclass using my 13 years of microgreen growing knowledge. You don't want to miss it. It is so much fun. All right, so now let's talk about the health benefits of broccoli microgreens. And first of all, like we were talking about earlier, they detoxify the body. They contain sulforaphane, which flushes toxins out of your liver and cells. And studies have shown that it reduces cancer risk and protects against oxidative stress. One thing that's really cool to know about your brassica family, which is your broccolis, your kales, mustards, your leafy green vegetables, is that in the microgreen stage, you have 10 to 100 times more sulforaphanes than your mature vegetables. In fact, Dr. Berg talks about this. It's so incredible. All right, so then the second thing, it can boost immunity. Microgreens are high in vitamin C, even more than full-grown broccoli. They support gut health and immune function. And number 3, it can reduce inflammation and support heart health. Sulforaphane and antioxidants have been shown to help lower blood pressure and cholesterol and reduce risk of heart disease and diabetes. And number 4, they support digestion and gut health. Microgreens are rich in fiber and enzymes that support digestion and gut bacteria. And if you've learned anything about our gut biome, it is so important to have a healthy gut biome with good gut bacteria. And it is easier to digest than kale. No bloating or rough texture or just that bad taste. This is so much easier to add into meals without having to change the flavor or make it so that other people who don't really like kale are gonna be able to eat kale. This is just so much easier in my opinion. Do you wanna grow your own fresh broccoli microgreens at home so you never run out? Join my free microgreen masterclass at ameliaislandmicrogreens.com/101, and I'll show you how to grow them yourself in just 7 days. It's so easy and it's so much fun. I look forward to seeing you there. All right, here's the best way to eat broccoli microgreens for maximum nutrition. Blend them into a smoothie with a little lemon juice. The vitamin C in the lemon activates the sulforaphanes in the microgreens, making them even more powerful to your body. So now that you know how powerful broccoli microgreens are, go ahead and comment below. What's your favorite microgreen so far? And don't forget to join my microgreen masterclass at ameliaislandmicrogreens.com/101 to start growing your own today. As always, stay awesome and see you in my next video. Do you want to grow your own fresh live microgreens like this in 7 days? In this video, we're going to walk you through step by step the complete growing process for growing Oriental mustard microgreens just like these in 7 days with minimal maintenance. And stick till the very end, where I will reveal a secret tip that you can do in the very beginning of your microgreen planting process that will completely eliminate mold. Hi, I'm Connor Hebel, founder of Island Microgreens, a teen entrepreneur on a mission to make the world an even better place by empowering people to grow their own health in 7 days with microgreens. In this step-by-step tutorial, I'll show you exactly how to grow Oriental mustard microgreens from start to finish. No fancy gear, just real results. Perfect for beginners or home growers ready to grow their own microgreens right at home. So today we're using a microgreen grow kit from Island Microgreens. And so let's talk about what's in this kit. You have your variety of seeds, everything from broccoli, Oriental mustard, which is the cousin of wasabi, which is what we're gonna be growing today, to brown mustard, turnip, and a salad mix. The salad mix is super delicious. It's a great mix to add into your salads, soups, smoothies, anything you can think of. So you'll have the seeds, and on your seed packet, there's a little QR code that'll take you to a video on how to grow your microgreens right at home. Then you have your grow trays. The reason why we have a 2-tier tray like we're showing you here is because when you have a 2-tier tray like this, it significantly reduces mold because you put the grow medium on top, like we'll show you in a minute. And once you do that, then you're able to water underneath. Because, for example, when you pour water on top of here, what likes cool, dark, and humid places? Mold. So if you don't have a 2-tier tray like this, your risk of mold goes significantly up. Then we have the grow medium. Our personal favorite is coco coir. Coco coir is a sterilized coconut husk, so there's no eruptions of bugs because it's been completely sterilized. And when you're growing microgreens, you don't need any nutrition in the soil itself because the nutrition's coming from the seed. So it's completely okay that it's sterilized, makes it so much easier, more cleanly, and it's really great. And with the soil, just follow the instructions on the soil puck like you're seeing here, or just go ahead and watch this video, read the instructions. We also have the thank you card, germination trackers, which will tell you when to water, and then a pH test strip that will help you find the pH balance in your water. And why that is so important is because it's a scale that goes from acidic to alkaline. And you want to find the place on that scale that is beneficial for what you're growing. So for example, with microgreens, it's about 6.5 to 7.5. And all of us have our own pH scale, so it's really powerful. It makes the microgreen growing process so much easier. Then you have your spray bottle, which you'll use for the first 3 days of misting your microgreens. You'll want to have a light source. And I think a lot of people hesitate when they start growing microgreens because do I need to have this big setup with these fancy grow racks and artificial lighting and all of that? And the quick answer is no. When you are starting out, you do not need any of that. All you need is the trays, the seeds, the soil, some water, and just a window. It can be ambient light. It does not have to be direct sunlight. And in one of my videos, which I'll share right here, I will go more in depth on how to find the right space for growing your microgreens. But in the short answer, just use a window. You don't need a lot of light. In fact, indirect sunlight is perfect. If you really want to grow with a grow light, an LED shop light, which it's not super expensive to get one, do not let that stop you from growing your microgreens. In fact, the Oriental mustard microgreens we're growing today, I am using the window for. So they are completely fine using the window. The one thing that I will mention when you use a window is that sometimes you'll find that your microgreens are going to grow to that angle. So for example, my light source is over here. So my microgreens tend to go that direction. What I would do if I'm noticing that they're going that direction is I just simply turn it around and then they'll start growing that direction. So that way you can make them go straight. Whereas if you just leave them at that one angle, then they'll just kind of be at an angle, which is okay. It's not going to be too big of a deal. One of the things that having a grow light can help with is that you don't have to manually turn your microgreens. And sometimes they can be a little bit leggy without quite as much of a leaf, which sometimes happens with growing with a window. Like for example, with this one, there isn't a big leaf, but you still get the amazing benefits of microgreens. So now with that out of the way, let's dive into growing your microgreens at home. So the first thing you're gonna wanna do is take everything out of your box, get your tray and your soil and your seed pack. So for this one, we're going with Oriental mustard microgreens. Super simple. Once you have that, go ahead and get your pH test strip and get some water. You'll want a couple cups of water. I just put it into a container like this because it's easier. You just slightly dip your pH test strip into the water for like 1 second, pull it out, and then use your instructions and find where on the pH scale your microgreens are. You want about a 6.5 to 7.5 on the pH scale. Fortunately, the water that we're using today is already on the pH scale. And if you find that your water is immediately on the pH scale, you don't need to do this ever again. However, if you find that you're more acidic or more alkaline, then what you'll want to do is use either lemon or baking soda. And in your instructions, we go more in depth on how to do that, so just go ahead and use that. It's pretty simple to test this and refine it. Another thing to note here, you want to make sure that you have high quality water. We recommend using filtered water, especially don't use tap water. Make sure that it's high quality water because it will be absorbed into the plant and it's better for you and for your microgreens. So now that we have that, let's go ahead and hydrate our grow medium. So with a cocoa coir puck, there's a couple key things with this. Cocoa coir expands about 8 times its size when it's been compressed. So imagine one of those washcloths that you pour water on and it expands. That's what this is going to be like. What you want to do is make sure that your water is warm. When it is warm, it's going to expand that cocoa coir puck significantly faster. If it is cold water, it is going to be very hard to grow and expand this cocoa coir puck. So I recommend leaving the water outside of the fridge. You can even heat it up using a tea kettle or on the stove. That'll speed up the process a lot. Once you do that, then go ahead and pour some of that water onto your cocoa coir puck. You want to pour just a little, you don't want to pour a ton, and you can see it expand. It is such a cool experience. And as it expands, you can go ahead and just pull some of that cocoa coir off and pour more water on. And what you want is you want to get it to a texture of a soil, and you'll start to feel that as you go along. It gets more soily, it's not super clumpy. And now that your cocoa coir has been hydrated, let's go ahead and place it on your grow tray. Super simple, you just want to spread it as evenly as you can across your tray. And you don't want to have a bunch of clumps, you want to make sure that it's pretty flat. You don't want to press super hard down on your soil though, because you want to make sure that the roots can grow down. And if you can press it too tightly, then your roots may not be able to. Make sure you get the edges and get everywhere you can. Essentially what this soil is used for is to make sure that your seeds don't fall down into the tray. There's a video right here that talks even more in depth on the different types of soil and the benefits, because all sorts of soil have their pros and cons, and so go ahead and learn more about them. Now that we have the soil, we're gonna add the Oriental mustard seeds on. And this is really simple. What you do, you open that bag, or if you're DIYing it, you'll have to measure and get all the stuff. Once you open the bag, go ahead and just pour it into your hand. And you'll want to find the way that you like to spread your seeds across. I give a few examples as I'm spreading the seeds across. You'll see I move from different hand positions. Find the one that works the best for you. The goal here is you want to make sure you spread your microgreen seeds as evenly as possible. If there are a lot of clumps in one area, what'll happen is that those clumps will start to cause mold because it's grown so densely that there isn't enough airflow, and that is really a big problem. So make sure you grow it as evenly as possible, getting the edges, and if you find that there's a spot that has a lot of seeds, use your finger and just kind of push it around, making sure that they're spread out even more. So now that you have your seeds, your soil down, you are almost done. There's only a couple more small steps for today. And that is to go ahead and take your spray bottle, pour some of that water in, and go ahead and mist your soil and your seeds. This is called germination. What this stage is gonna do is it's gonna wake up the seeds and tell it, hey, it's time to start growing. This is a really important stage. It's the only time that you're gonna be spraying your microgreens. After the 3 days are up, no more spraying your microgreens, and we'll move to a different form of watering. So now that you've watered the soil and the seeds, go ahead and get the tinfoil out. And with this, you can use tinfoil, you can use a dark space like a closet, or you can use a towel. I personally recommend tinfoil because it's easy to spray water on, it keeps it humid, and it's really great for microgreen growing. So go ahead and put that on, then get your spray bottle and mist underneath the tinfoil. And this is gonna create a humidity dome, which is really good right now. Oh, and I forgot to mention, that big tip that I was mentioning earlier on, get some cinnamon. Cinnamon is naturally antibacterial and it's really great at reducing your risk of mold. So go ahead and just mix it into your soil and it makes such a huge difference. In this video, I forgot to do it while I had the coco coir puck expanding. So I just went ahead and I put it on top, and I recommend growing ahead and putting the cinnamon in and mixing it into the soil. That way it's all evenly spread across. But if you forget and you're at this stage, you might as well do it. It's gonna make a huge difference. I've had a comparison where I compared one tray of microgreens and another tray of microgreens. One had the cinnamon, one didn't. The one that did have the cinnamon was completely fine, whereas the other one molded. So having the cinnamon makes a huge difference. All right, so now that you have this humidity dome, you're ready to go. Now all you need to do, take out that germination tracker, write what kind of seeds you planted, and go ahead and check off today. You'll notice that today's already checked off for the first set of boxes. Why we have 2 sets of boxes on here is because if you're living in a dry climate such as Nevada or Arizona or somewhere like that, you'll want to water twice a day. Because when it's dry, then it's not as humid, and that reduces the humidity in your humidity dome. So you want to make sure that you're getting enough humidity in there. If you live in a humid place like, for example, Florida, then you'll only need to water once a day. And this is really important because when it's humid like this, then you don't have to worry about it drying up. So once a day is better. If you do happen to live in a dry area and you only mist once a day, you'll be fine. However, it does make a difference, and just go ahead and check off where you are. And you'll notice that there's only 3 boxes here. That is because at the day 3, that's when you're gonna wanna take it out of germination. So this is a good way to track what day you're on. All right, welcome to day 2. Day 2 is gonna be super simple. All you need to do is lift up that tinfoil, mist underneath, mist the seeds, and you're good to go. Then just go ahead and check off that you watered it today, and that's all. That's what it's gonna be like for the next 6 days. Super simple. All right, day 3. It is the same exact thing. You're gonna go ahead and mist underneath the seeds and soil, and you're good to go. All right, day 4. We're gonna take off that tin foil, and now we're gonna do something completely different. we're gonna go ahead and get that water container. When we have that, we're gonna go ahead and lift up our microgreens, put a little bit of water in there, and put it back down. Super easy. And why we do this is because now we're gonna start to have the microgreens grown super densely, and they're not gonna be able to handle the spray bottle like we were before, because there's gonna be a higher risk of mold. And now once we have this, we only water once a day. So super simple. And once you've watered, come back 10 minutes later, check underneath the 2 trays and make sure that all the water's gone. With microgreens, you don't want to make it so that it's hydroponics, where there's water on it constantly. If you do that, you're gonna run the risk of a thing called root rot. And root rot is not good for your roots. Be sure to check about 15 minutes after you watered your microgreens. And if there is some water there, just go ahead and pour it off. If this is the kind of simple, no fluff growing advice that you love, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the ring bell. I've got more pro tips coming up every single week. And if you're ready to grow your microgreens in 7 days, go to ameliaislandmicrogreens.com/101 for a free 10-part microgreen masterclass that will take you from microgreen beginner to microgreen grower. I've been growing microgreens for 14 years. Yes, ever since I was 7 years old, I've been growing microgreens. And I want to teach you the things that I wish I had known. So go to ameliaislandmicrogreens.com/101. All right, it is day 5. You only have 3 more days until you can enjoy your fresh live microgreens. So now, same thing. Just go ahead and put a little bit of water, about a cup of water, underneath those 2 trays, and you're ready to go. It's super cool to see how much it's grown just in this short period of time. I love watching microgreens grow because they grow so fast. All right, it is day 6. It is so close to being able to harvest. And in fact, if you're like, I just need to eat my microgreens right now, there's a good chance you can already start to harvest them. I recommend waiting till day 7 because they are going to get a bit taller. However, if you really want to eat them, you can. I've been known to do that a couple times. So go ahead and put the water in, put it next to that window, come back tomorrow. All right, it is the last day. It is day 7. You are now able to eat your microgreens. Go ahead and put some water into your tray. And then what I personally recommend is just go ahead and harvest what you want to eat that day. Don't harvest it all. And the reason is you can let it continue growing. And when you do that, you have another 7 to 14 days to eat off of your microgreens, which when you harvest them, they're already starting to degrade. So you won't have as long to eat them, and they're not going to be fresh and live. So I highly recommend keeping them live. And you can watch this video right here where I dive even more deeply into whether to store them now or store them later. And when you watch that video, you'll learn how to keep your microgreens stored and fresh for 21 days. All right, so harvesting is super simple. You just take your scissors or a sharp knife and just go right between the stem and the soil. Try and get as much of the stem as you can. And the cool thing is, if you end up having some of the soil in there, don't worry, it's just gonna taste a little funny, but it's not gonna be harmful at all. It's just a coconut husk. So now once you've harvested your microgreens, you're gonna have the thing called root carpet. And that's your soil and your roots. And what you can do with this is you can either throw it away, put it in the compost, put it in your garden and see if it grows again. And I'll tell you a little secret. If you have someone who has chickens, give them the root carpet and usually they'll give you eggs. And with egg prices today, that is a really great deal. It's what I used to do when I was growing microgreens for other restaurants, so highly recommend that. So if you've ever had patchy trays or slow germination, hit that like button. You're not alone. And this method with cinnamon and using a 2-tier tray reduces 90% of early growth issues. And if you're still having challenges, comment below and maybe there's some solution we can find. Usually it's between the tray, the seeds, and not having the cinnamon. And if you're ready to grow your microgreens in 7 days, go to ameliaislandmicrogreens.com/101 for a free 10-part microgreen masterclass that will take you from microgreen beginner to microgreen grower. I've been growing microgreens for 14 years. Yes, ever since I was 7 years old, I've been growing microgreens. And I want to teach you the things that I wish I had known when I started, so you can learn from my mistakes so that you can grow easily and effortlessly your fresh live microgreens in 7 days right at home on your kitchen counter. It is super easy, so go ahead and go to ameliaislandmicrogreens.com/101 for your free microgreen masterclass today. So now that you've got that full healthy tray of Oriental mustard microgreens, what do you do with them? Let's talk about how to harvest and store microgreens the right way so they stay fresh and crisp. Click the link in the description to grab your free microgreen masterclass at ameliaislandmicrogreens.com/101. So now the next challenge, harvesting and storing your microgreens the right way. And yes, there is a right way. And this is exactly what I'll help you with in the next video. So click right here and I'll see you there. As always, stay awesome. Think pizza can't get any better? Well, think again. Microgreens take pizza to a whole new level, adding insane freshness, crunch, nutrients, and flavor without messing up that classic cheesy goodness. Today, I'm showing you how to make the ultimate microgreen pizza right at home. So let's get into it. And at the end of this video, I'll share a genius microgreen hack that'll make your toppings even better. So stick around. Hey, I'm Connor Hebel, founder of Amelia Island Microgreens, and I've been growing microgreens for over 13 years. We've been featured in Forbes and Entrepreneur, and we've helped thousands of people just like you grow your own nutrient-rich microgreens right at home. If you're ready to upgrade your pizza game, then let's get to it. So let's talk about why microgreens with pizza. It sounds like such a different dichotomy, and really it can go on anything. Your microgreens can go on your soup, salad, sandwiches. So let's talk about the freshness and flavor boost that microgreens add to your pizza. Microgreens add a crisp, fresh bite that balances out the richness of cheeses and sauce. They enhance the flavors of pizza without overpowering it. And not only that, they add next level nutrition. Microgreens contain up to 40 times more nutrients than your regular greens. So adding just a little bit onto your pizza really helps your nutrition and your overall well-being. They also add vitamins, antioxidants, and fiber without extra calories. And there's an incredible variety of microgreens. Each microgreen has a unique flavor that pairs differently with pizza toppings. You can experiment with peppery, sweet, and even spicy microgreens. So there's so many benefits to adding them to your pizza. So what's your go-to pizza topping? Drop a comment below. And if you love this kind of content, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notifications so you never miss a video. And if you're ready to grow your microgreens right at home in 7 days, then you're in luck because I created a free microgreen masterclass to take you from microgreen beginner to microgreen grower using my 13 years of microgreen growing experience. Go to ameliaislandmicrogreens.com/101 for this free 10-part microgreen masterclass. You don't want to miss it, so I look forward to seeing you there. And remember, I've got a secret microgreen pizza hack that'll change the way you top your pizzas forever. So now let's talk about creating a homemade microgreen pizza. So first of all, let's talk about the ingredients. You'll want some pizza dough, whether that's store-bought or homemade, and you can go find some recipes on that pretty easily. Some tomato sauce or pesto for a twist. I personally like pesto or oil for my sauce. And then cheese, you could do mozzarella, goat cheese, or feta. And toppings, cherry tomatoes, caramelized onion, mushrooms, different types of meats, whatever you want to add. Make your own pizza your own unique way. And then microgreens, pea shoots, arugula, radish, sunflower, or my personal favorite, Oriental mustard, which is the cousin to wasabi. So prep the pizza dough and sauce. Roll out that pizza dough and spread your favorite sauce evenly. Then add your cheese and toppings. Load up with mozzarella, goat cheese, or feta for a flavor balance, and add pre-cooked toppings like mushrooms, caramelized onions, or cherry tomatoes, or some meats, whatever you like to add to your pizzas. Now go ahead and bake that pizza. Bake it at about 450 Fahrenheit
or 230 Celsius for about 10 to 12 minutes until it's golden and bubbly. And most of your ovens have a light built into the oven, so you can look inside your oven without having to open it every time you want to check to make sure your pizza's bubbly and perfect. And now it's time for the last part, and that is adding your microgreens after you bake it. You never want to bake your microgreens because they lose the nutrients and some of the flavor. Instead, top your pizza with fresh microgreens right after it comes out of the oven. This keeps them crisp, vibrant, and flavorful. If you really want to cook them, I highly recommend checking out this video right here, where I talk about the pros and cons of cooking your microgreens. You can do it, it just might change the flavor and the nutrients, because there are certain things that are better when it's fresh and live. And now, do you want to grow fresh microgreens right at home so you can add them to your pizza anytime? Join my free microgreen masterclass at ameliaislandmicrogreens.com/101, and I'll show you how to grow them right at home for yourself. All right, here's my microgreen pizza hack. Mix fresh microgreens with a tiny bit of lemon juice and olive oil before adding them to your pizza. This makes the flavors pop even more and gives your pizza that next level gourmet touch. Now that you've tried microgreens on pizza, you might be wondering, what other unexpected foods can I add my microgreens to? Well, in my next video, I'll be sharing creative ways to use microgreens beyond salads. Comment below, which microgreen would you put on pizza? And don't forget to join my microgreen masterclass at ameliaislandmicrogreens.com/101. And you can check that out in the link below and start growing your own microgreens in 7 days. As always, stay awesome.
Are you wondering if you should grow your microgreens indoors or outdoors? Trust me, choosing the right setup can make or break your results. I've done both, and today we're gonna break down exactly what works the best. And stick around, because later in this video, I'm gonna reveal one fact most microgreen growers completely forget about, and it can destroy an entire crop if you're not careful. Hi, I'm Connor Hebel, and if I sound a little quiet, I'm traveling and there's a couple people still sleeping, so I'm gonna be kind of quiet while I give you the best information. So let's get into it. Indoor microgreen growing. This is how I prefer to grow my microgreens. It's a lot easier, and you're not gonna have to worry about bugs because they're all outside. Unless you happen to have pests inside, then that can be kind of tricky. The great thing about growing microgreens indoors, you don't have to worry about bugs. If you have aphids, as long as they're outside, they're not going to be affecting your microgreens. And it's so amazing not to have to worry about this after I've gardened, and I live in Florida and there's bugs everywhere. So as soon as your crops grow, the bugs like them. You get full control over your temperature, humidity, and light. And this is really important because if your microgreens aren't growing right, it's easy to adjust and adapt and make sure that they grow correctly. It can be a simple adjustment in the light, or the humidity, or the temperature. You can also give it more water or less water. That way it's all controlled and exactly what it needs to thrive. Here's one of my favorite things about growing microgreens. You can grow microgreens year-round. It could be snowing outside, and you can still have fresh live vegetables in 7 days. It could be super dry. You could be in a drought and still grow your microgreens. So it's super cool because anyone can grow their microgreens anywhere. As long as you have good water, you have soil, and you have seeds, you can grow your microgreen. Some indoor cons. One, if you start investing in lighting and a shelf and all the things that your bigger microgreen farms have, then it will cost you a bit. But even then, it's pretty affordable to be growing your own microgreens at a bigger scale. When you're just starting out, just put it next to a window and you won't have many of the upfront costs. Another thing could be electricity cost, which shouldn't be any different than what you're already growing, but I thought I'd add it in here because you will want to make sure that your temperature is 65 to 70 degrees. It helps reduce the risk of mold in your microgreens. Which, if you would like a video on how to reduce mold in microgreens, please let me know and I'll create it. So comment down below, comment mold if you want a video specific on mold and microgreens. Another thing is space limitations in homes and apartments. Great thing about microgreens, they take up about that much space. So you can really grow them anywhere from RVs, boats, even NASA's grown them up in space. So if NASA can grow them up in space, if there's a small limitation on your space, pun intended, then
If NASA can do it, you can do it too. And so even though it does take up some space, it's not gonna take up a lot of space. And have you ever seen the Dairy Queen where they turn the blizzard up and it doesn't fall out? After about day 5, if you were to take your microgreen tray that you haven't harvested, turn it upside down, the roots will have been in place and it won't fall out. And this is really cool to do. It's really fun, especially when I'm talking with someone who has an RV or a boat. I'm like, look at this. This is something you can just put into a pantry if you're starting to move and you want to make sure that it stays. And if you turn it, it's not even gonna get messy. So as far as pros and cons, there are a lot of pros to growing your microgreens indoors, and there are very little cons. Another one that I would like to mention is that when you grow your microgreens indoors, you're able to make sure that the sunlight is just right, so that way it's not frying your microgreens or they're not in too much shade. And if they are, go ahead and get a grow light. I'll put a link in the description for a couple that I like, and go ahead and do your own research. Find the one that works for you. There's so many out there and the world is your oyster. So are you leaning towards indoor growing so far? Drop a sprout emoji if you think that indoor growing is the right one for you. I want to see who's ready to start. And if you're ready to start growing your microgreens, head over to ameliaislandmicrogreens.com/101 for a free 10-part microgreen series where I take you from microgreen beginner to microgreen grower using my 14 years of microgreen growing experience, teaching you the stuff that I wished I had known when I was starting to grow my microgreens. So be sure to head over there and I look forward to that. All right, outdoor growing. This is what a lot of people think of when they think of planting and growing food. And it's really good for your mature vegetables. With microgreens, there's pros and cons, and so let's get into that. So the outdoor pros. Your microgreens are going to be getting natural sunlight, that the windows aren't going to be blocking out anything that could benefit them. This is especially important for windows that are newer, that have gotten tinted. They don't even have to look super tinted in order to not be bringing in some of the light that the microgreens need in through the window. And so I have people who they can't grow their microgreens without a grow light because of the windows that they have. So to be able to be outside is really huge because then you don't have to worry about that. The other benefit is that your microgreens are getting that direct sunlight, which I believe is really powerful. They're getting all the good stuff from the sun, and the more you can do that, I feel is better. There's of course lower energy costs. You don't have to worry about air conditioning. You just kind of let nature do its course. This can be great for large volume growing if you decide to plant it in your garden bed and that's like your focus. And the one thing about this is with the garden bed, you do have to have space and it can be very costly up front. So now outdoor cons. The weather is very unpredictable. Like I was mentioning, snow, you're not going to be able to grow outside. Or a drought, you may not be able to either. If the sun is super hot, like in the summer, since microgreens are so tender, you can run the risk of them shriveling up. Or if you're getting a lot of rain, then it could be too much water, and then they either mold or they're waterlogged or it's just not a good situation. So you want to see what it would be like for your particular climate and when would be the best time for you to grow your microgreens. Of course, pests. You have bugs, you have birds, you even have squirrels, there's deer, there's so many things that will eat microgreens. And of course, like we mentioned, you can only grow microgreens during certain months during your climate. You won't be able to grow year-round. And don't worry, I haven't forgotten that critical factor that can wipe out your entire crop. We're almost there. And if you're finding this video helpful so far, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss another amazing microgreen video. All right, so that number one factor that people completely forget about, contamination. I know we live in a world where you are told to wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands. And then you go to the bathroom and you realize people aren't washing their hands. It's not something we want to do, and yet it's so important, especially when you're working with food. When you go indoors and outdoors, you can bring contaminants in that may be harmful to your microgreens. And if you don't control cleanliness, your trays, your tools, your hands, mold and disease will shut you down fast. Especially if you're doing this as a microgreen business, you need to make sure that you have cleanliness and are reducing your risk of contamination. because you don't want a lawsuit. And of course, it is important for home growers too. I just want to especially emphasize it for businesses. And always sanitize no matter where you grow. This is where I said a food grade hydrogen peroxide comes in handy, and I highly recommend cleaning with that. And if you're interested in a video in that, let me know in the comments below. And I'll tailor a video specific to what I do to get food grade hydrogen peroxide diluted to about 3% and ready for you to use, not only on cleaning your trays, but also if you have mold. It works both ways and it's really helpful. Okay, so now you know how to grow, but do you know what to grow? In the next video, I'll show you the top 5 microgreens that are the easiest to grow so you can get started easily and effortlessly and get growing your microgreens in 7 days. And if you're serious about growing microgreens fast, check out AmeliaIslandMicrogreens.com/101 for my free microgreen masterclass. You don't want to miss it. All right, so now that you know where to grow, let's talk about what to grow. See you in my next video. As always, stay awesome. Want to get your kids off the screen and into something healthy, fun, and hands-on? Let me tell you a little secret. Growing microgreens is the project they'll absolutely love, and it's more impactful than you think. And stick around. My favorite kid-friendly trick that gets your kids completely hooked on growing their own food. Hi, I'm Connor Hebel, and we empower young people to grow their own health. Today, I'm going to be showing you how growing microgreens with your kids can be simple, fun, and make such an impact on their life. And if I sound a little quiet today, I'm traveling and I have a couple friends who are still sleeping, so I want to be a little conscious of that. So if I sound funny, that's why. So let's get on to the content. So one of the biggest things for kids, when you grow a garden, it takes a while, and kids get impatient. They want that instant gratification. Especially in the days of TikTok and all of the technology, having something at the snap of a finger is really huge. That's why growing microgreens is so important for kids, because in just 7 days, they can have fresh live food. And it's not just even 7 days. After the first 3 days, you start to see your microgreens grow so fast. It is really satisfying. Every day you walk by and they look even bigger than the day before. It's like kids, they grow up so fast. Another benefit, there's no long waiting period like traditional gardening. You don't have to worry about weeding, which for young kids, if there's a lot of weeds, can be very intense for them. So to be able to have something that they can grow easily is so important. The other benefit is it's easy for them to access because it's indoors. They just walk over to their kitchen counter and they can make sure that they're taking care of their microgreens. Another huge thing about microgreens, they teach responsibility. Your kids will have to go over, water it, make sure it's still alive, keep it growing, and they can see how nurturing something like that leads to bigger results. And it shows them that their actions make a big difference in the world. It builds ownership. Your kids are gonna be invested because they grew microgreens. They grew it. And here's something I'll add in. I was gonna say it a little bit later on in the video, but I think it's perfect here. Because they have that ownership and they have that feeling of, I did this, they're gonna be more likely to eat their vegetables. I've had kids who have come up to my booth and been like, I want nothing to do with vegetables, none. I don't eat them, I don't like them. But then they start growing their microgreens and they do it just for a fun experiment. And what happens next is nothing short of incredible. The kids who did not want to eat their vegetables are now eating microgreens. So they went from nothing to microgreens, and then once they get used to eating microgreens, there's a chance they'll then go ahead and eat vegetables. In fact, one of the people locally is eating vegetables now after not eating them before. So it's really huge. The other thing, if your kid's on the autism spectrum and they're very particular about what they eat, this can kind of coax them into eating things other than chicken nuggets and hamburgers. So that's really good to know. A couple of my customers who I was talking about there are on that spectrum. I'm also on it too. And so to be able to have something that grows really makes an impact on people's lives. And like, I started growing microgreens when I was 7 because I really needed it for my health, and also because of all the benefits that I'm listing here. And it really made a difference on my confidence, my health, and my life. And for that, for being able to grow microgreens at that age, I am forever grateful. It is so worth it. The other great thing about this, hands-on science experiments. You're not just learning from a textbook. You're seeing how a plant grows. You're seeing how it gets sunlight and how the roots grow. There's so many different cool components of growing your microgreens that you can relate to science and STEM. And this is perfect for homeschoolers because you get to experience what it's like to watch all of these components come together rather than just seeing it in a textbook. This brings up real conversation about health, about food, about how things are grown, and you never know what can come of this. It also gives you conversations you can have with your kids if you're wanting to connect with them and you just don't know how. Sometimes just growing something, doing some fun project will get you even closer and even more connected. It creates those important memories that'll last a lifetime. Growing microgreens with kids also create food confidence. Kids who grow and eat their microgreens are way more likely to eat their greens and stay connected to nature and feel that sense of pride of, I did something that made an impact. I was able to grow my own food. Imagine how many kids don't know where food comes from. There's so many kids who don't know that. And so to be able to show not only where food comes from, but also how to grow your own food is such a vital skill. We've become so disconnected from our food chain and how things are grown. And I feel like COVID really showed that when we become disconnected, things can happen. Produce quality can dip, prices can rise, and that's not good to not have any control over that. So to be able to share that sustainability and that ability to grow and eat your own fresh live food is so important. And I'll also list a video right here that talks about the health benefits of microgreens. Microgreens are really good for you and they're really good for your kids, so it's great to start them eating off healthy. And I'm gonna share a secret in a little bit that will help for those super picky eaters that growing microgreens and eating them still just doesn't work quite yet. There's a way you can add them to every meal that your kids will never know about. If you've ever gardened with your kids or want to start, drop a sprout emoji in the comments. I'd love to hear how that went or what you're looking forward to. I always love reading my comments and I look forward to hearing yours. And since you're ready to start growing your microgreens, check out AmeliaIslandMicrogreens.com/101 for a free microgreen masterclass where I take you and your kids from micro beginners to microgreen growers using my 14 years of microgreen growing experience so that you can have the best, fun, and easiest time growing your microgreens right at home. All right, so now let's make sure that this is fun for kids. There are a couple key aspects that you want to have in growing your microgreens with your kids. Because kids have that instant gratification level, make sure that you begin with seeds that are easy to grow. A couple big reasons why. You want to make sure that your kids are going to be able to stick with it. There are some varieties like your herbs that take about 2 to 3 weeks, and those aren't good to start your kids on. I highly recommend like broccoli, kale, collards, some of the ones that I linked in that video earlier, and because those take 7 days to grow, so that's a fraction of the time of the other one. They sprout fast and they look awesome. Create a mini grow station. Get them the soil, the seeds, the spray bottle, everything they need to grow their microgreens, and allow them to add stickers or draw on it or do whatever they want to make it a little bit fun and creative. Make it their own. And if you want to make this process super easy, go ahead and get a microgreen kit. That'll save you the time of figuring out how to do the seeds, the soil, where to source all of that. We just make it super simple. You open up a box, get your seeds and soil out, and you start growing. Super easy. Celebrate the small wins. I feel like a lot of times we don't celebrate the little things. So celebrate when your microgreens are growing with your kids. Celebrate each day that they keep growing and talk about what stage they're in. It's really cool to be able to share, this is the seed, this is the sprout, this is the microgreen, and then after the microgreen there's the true leaf, which is when it has 3 leaves instead of 2. So there's so many different ways you can tie this into homeschooling or just teaching your kids even more. Take pictures and show them how proud you are. And speaking of pictures, be sure to tag Amelia Island Microgreens on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Pinterest, or TikTok, wherever you're gonna be posting these pictures, because we'd love to see your growth and how much fun you had. It's why I do what I do, and it always means a lot to hear from you all that things are going well and you're enjoying your microgreens. I know they made a huge impact on my life, and so to be able to share this gift and share it with you is such a huge blessing. All right, now that your microgreens are grown, another cool thing, get your kids involved in the kitchen. Make sure that when it's harvest day, they're there harvesting the microgreens, they're involved in that. You can even choose a recipe and get them involved in cooking the recipe so that they can add their microgreens to it. And this just adds that anticipation of, I did this and now I'm gonna add it to a meal and it's gonna be so cool. So it really adds that level of confidence and that feeling of, I'm doing something that's making an impact. And if they have friends, let them teach others. Bring their friends over and they can do a little grow party. As Albert Einstein said, and I'm paraphrasing here, essentially, when you know something, you can teach it to someone else. Allow them to teach it to someone else so that they can get an even better knowledge of the growing microgreen process, and especially of the science side. Let your kids grow the microgreens and teach their friends about the health benefits, about the science side, and just about the fun process of growing your own food. It gets addicting. It's so much fun, and especially when you can bring your friends in on the whole amazing experience. Teaching it gives them that pride and knowledge that really makes a difference in a young kid's life. I mentioned something about if your kids still just won't eat the microgreens, what you can do to add it into their meals without them even knowing it. It's coming up in just a moment. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any more amazing microgreen videos to take your kid from microgreen beginner to microgreen grower. I like to say, you may not have a green thumb, but you have a microgreen thumb. All right, so that secret tip, go ahead and dehydrate your microgreens in a dehydrator. And once you do this, it'll crumble into a fine powder. Add it to your salts, and now you have microgreen finishing salts. And a tray of microgreens will last you for quite a while. So now you're probably wondering, what is the easiest way to set up a microgreen station for my kids? Check out this next video where I will dive deep into how to grow your own microgreens, and I look forward to seeing you there. As always, stay awesome.